You were never weak. You were just drowning in noise. Scrolls, cravings, chaos, emotions pulling your mind like chains on wet stone. But deep beneath that mess, there's a version of you no one has seen. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't chase. He doesn't explain. He moves like shadow through fire, cold, focused, unseen. Maybe she left. Maybe you failed. Maybe you became soft. Soft in the body, soft in the mind. But this isn't your funeral. This is your forging. You're not broken. You're unfinished. Look in the mirror, not at what you are, but what you're supposed to become. See those scars? Keep them. They're proof you've bled. Now bleed with purpose. The chains fall now. Slow motion, silent. This is the part where the weak version dies, and the ghost with steel eyes rises from the ashes. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. You don't need validation. You need war. You don't need noise. You need discipline. You're not here to be seen. You're here to become. Write this. Now right here in the comments, I will become the man no one sees coming. That's not a slogan. It's a vow to disappear from weakness and rise in silence, to stop chasing and start building. No one claps for the ghost in the shadows, but when he moves, the ground shakes. This isn't motivation, it's your initiation. Subscribe if you're done watching life slip through your fingers. Subscribe if you're ready to stop talking and start executing. You're not here for comfort. You're here for command. This isn't a channel. It's a war room, and the next battle is inside you. Join the brotherhood. Speak less, train harder, rebuild in silence. The modern world is loud, screens flashing, opinions screaming, emotions spilling everywhere like blood in a street fight. And you've been caught in the middle. They told you to share everything, speak up, express your feelings, seek validation, post, prove, performance. But where did it get you? Lost, reactive, weak. You were never taught to build. You were taught to react. You were trained to respond to every beep, every buzz, every text. You became a slave to the next dopamine hit. And somewhere along the way, you forgot who the hell you were. But now you're here, and the man you could be is watching you, silent, waiting. The world doesn't need another loud, emotional, approval-chasing boy. It needs you, cold, calm, unreadable, a man who speaks little and does much, a man who acts from principle, not impulse, a man who moves in silence, not for applause, but because he must. The Stoics didn't scream. They didn't beg. They didn't crumble when life hit them. They endured. They commanded. They sharpened themselves in fire, without a word. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. You want to fix your life? Then stop waiting for motivation. Stop blaming your past. Stop explaining yourself to people who will never understand the war you're fighting inside. You are a forge, and every thought, every habit, every hour is either sharpening your blade or melting you into nothing. You think you're tired. You're not tired. You're undisciplined. You're addicted to comfort, addicted to noise, and every day you stay in this cycle, your strength rots. There is no version of you that becomes a weapon by accident. You want to be unbreakable. Then break yourself on purpose. Through silence, through structure, through suffering. Real strength isn't the man yelling at the gym mirror. It's the one who trains at 5 a.m. when no one's watching. It's the one who walks away from what weakens him without looking back. It's the one who disappears for months and returns built like a storm. Understand this. They'll mock your silence. They'll question your discipline until they see what it built. So stop explaining, start executing, be unseen, be cold, be the man who doesn't need to be liked. because he's too focused on becoming dangerous. This is where the noise ends. This is where the fire begins. Now we rebuild in silence. You want to be free, but you're chained, not by steel, not by walls. You're chained by your own mind, hijacked by noise, drowned in distraction. Every time you reach for your phone without thinking, you tighten the shackles. Every time you scroll for dopamine, you weaken the warrior inside. Every notification, every ping, every meaningless post is a bullet to your focus. You've been trained like a dog. Tap, swipe, click, crave. Your enemy doesn't carry a sword. He wears a logo. He's in your pocket. He knows what triggers you. He sells you pleasure and steals your power. Distraction is modern slavery. And the worst part? You volunteered. Look around. Men walking through life with dead eyes, addicted to content, paralyzed by comparison, reactive to every digital ghost. This is not freedom. This is mental imprisonment. Gut now. No focus, no vision, just noise. How do you expect to lead yourself when you can't even sit alone with your own thoughts for 5 minutes? If you are disturbed, it is not events that trouble you, but your judgment about them. Epictetus. You think you're anxious because life is hard. Number, you're anxious because your mind is scattered. Because every second, you consume more than you create. You react more than you reflect. You drown yourself in noise. Then complain about the storm. You are not calm because you are not clean. Your digital diet is filth. Your environment is poisoned, and your mind is choking on the trash you feed it. Cut the noise. Unfollow 90% of what you see. Turn off every notification that isn't mission critical. Delete apps that train your mind to crave instead of conquer. Wake up and face silence. You don't need more information, you need more space. Space to think, to suffer, to train, to sharpen your edge without everyone watching. Cold strength starts where noise ends. You cannot meditate in a nightclub. You cannot become unbreakable in a world that profits off your weakness. So walk away from endless scrolling, from gossip, from the constant urge to consume. Most men are soft because their attention is soft. They can't hold focus. They can't sit with discomfort. They can't finish what they start because distraction has turned them into mental peasants. Pliable, passive, begging for their next hit of nothing. But you're here for war. You're here to reclaim your mind, build rituals, create silence, guard your focus like it's sacred, because it is. Your attention is your life. Wasted attention is wasted existence. You want to be stoic? Start here, with what enters your mind. Not what you post, not what you say, what you allow to penetrate your inner world. Imagine your brain like a fortress. Every notification is a thief. Every pointless video is a Trojan horse. Every second spent scrolling is a soldier you've lost in the war for your future. Block the gates, shut the doors, train in the dark, sit in silence. Let your mind breathe. The Stoics didn't need noise. They sat with stillness. They didn't distract themselves from pain. They used it. Do the same. Turn the volume of the world off and turn your inner voice on. No more aimless scrolling. No more mental weakness. Every time you choose silence, you sharpen your blade. Let the others lose themselves in the algorithm. Let them chase pixels. Let them rot in noise. But you disappear to rebuild. You return with steel eyes and a calm that kills. Cold, focused, unseen. That's real power. That's the path forward. That's how it begins. Cut the noise, or stay a slave. Choose. They broke your heart. They betrayed your trust. They left you in pieces. And you think your emotions are strength. You think crying in public, screaming in rage, drowning in guilt is what makes you real. Number that makes you easy to control. Emotions are not strength. They are tools. They are flames in a forge. Used properly, they harden you. Used carelessly, They burn you alive. You're not weak because you feel. You're weak because you obey your feelings. Understand this. Emotion is not your enemy. Reactivity is. Every time you act out of emotion, you hand your enemy the blade. Every time you break, yell, chase, or cry in front of someone who hurt you, you confirm your slavery. You think love means suffering. You think heartbreak makes you noble. You think your sadness proves your worth. It doesn't. It proves one thing: you haven't trained your emotions yet. A stoic man isn't emotionless. He's unmoved. There is a difference. He feels everything, but nothing controls him. You want to know how you reclaim your power. You feel nothing. You move forward. You don't flinch. You don't chase. You don't seek closure. You don't try to explain yourself to people who never cared to understand you. You let them go, without a word, without a tear, without a backward glance. And then you build. You don't post about it. You don't seek sympathy. You go to war with yourself. And you rebuild in silence. The modern world has trained you to be emotionally sloppy. They reward emotional outbursts. They call it vulnerability. They feed your pain back to you in videos, songs, and posts. But that vulnerability? It's a cage. A beautifully decorated, emotionally validated cage. You want to be free? Then control the storm inside. He who angers you conquers you. If your emotions rule you, then anyone can rule you. A woman, a comment, a rejection, a failure. They say one word and you spiral. You break discipline, you lose focus, you self-destruct. Because you were trained to feel, not to command. Not anymore. From this moment, you learn to use emotion, not obey it. Heartbreak? Let it fuel your training. Let it power your silence. Let it sharpen your coldness. Regret? Let it build your rituals. Let it keep your hands busy. Let it drive your discipline. Rage? Perfect. Burn it into focus. Put it in the weights. Put it in your business. Put it in your purpose. But never let it show. Never give your enemy the satisfaction of watching you bleed. A real man bleeds on the battlefield, not on social media. A real man burns privately and turns that fire into results. You must become emotionally untouchable, not numb, not cold-hearted, but unshakable. Imagine a frozen lake, perfectly still, perfectly cold. The storm above rages, but the ice does not crack. That's what you must become, a still force beneath chaos, an anchor when everything else is drowning. Men who win in life do not get emotional when things fall apart. They assess, they adapt, they move forward. You want power? Master this. Your feelings are not facts. Your feelings are not orders. Your feelings are not kings. They are shadows, and you are the light. Stop acting like a victim of your own mind. You are the builder, the blacksmith, the commander, the damn general. This is war, and in war, emotions get soldiers killed. Your softness is a liability. Your tears are seen by wolves, and wolves only respect one thing: cold movement, no whining, no talking, just action. When she leaves, move forward. When they doubt you, move forward. When you fail, move forward. When the storm hits, walk through it. You are not a leaf, you are the tree. Deep roots, unshaken. Modern culture wants you to share, express, break. I want you to command, contain, control. Because on the other side of emotional mastery is unbreakable clarity. When you can feel heartbreak and still execute, you're no longer human. You are something else. A weapon, a ghost with purpose. Let them talk. Let them think you're cold. Let them wonder why you never post about the breakup. Let them wonder how you stayed composed when they tried to provoke you. Let them see the calm in your face and feel the power behind it. This is Stoicism, not theory, not philosophy class. It's how you dominate your inner world so the outer world never controls you again. You think that girl left you to destroy you? She was the test, to see if you'd react or rise. You think failure means it's over. No, it means you weren't ready. And now, you are. You don't need revenge. You don't need closure. You don't need to heal. You need to move. Silently, coldly, like nothing happened. Because in the eyes of a Stoic man, nothing ever happens to him. It only happens for him. Even pain is a resource. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That's the core. Your pain is perception. Your heartbreak is a mirror. Your anger is a choice. You can burn the letters. You can delete the photos. You can wipe away the messages. But if your mind is still tied to the emotion, you are still owned. Burn it internally. Cut the cord mentally. Rebuild silently. Every morning, wake up colder. Not cruel, not bitter. Colder, more focused, more surgical. Your old self reacts. Your new self responds with silence and precision. There is no room for emotional chaos in a warrior's mind. You're here for the mission. Let everyone else self-destruct on their feelings. You keep walking, straight into the fire, unshaken, eyes forward, heart locked, hands busy. You don't cry, you carve. You don't scream, you sharpen, you don't post, you build. This is your edge now. Unemotional, unapologetic, unstoppable. Feel nothing, move forward, etch it into your bones, repeat it in silence. Let it become your law. Because the man who controls his emotions controls everything. You lost everything, your confidence, your discipline, maybe even someone you thought would never leave. And now you're here, standing in the rubble. So what do? Do you talk about it? Do you post quotes, cry for validation, beg people to notice your pain? Or do you do what real men do? Rebuild in silence. Silence is sacred. Silence is where warriors are made. You don't grow in the spotlight, you grow in the shadows. In a world that screams for attention, the most dangerous man is the one who says nothing. You don't need applause. You don't need their approval. You need revenge by transformation. Let them laugh. Let them assume you're broken. Let them think you're finished. You don't correct them. You become unrecognizable. No announcements, no posts, no "I'm working on myself" stories. You vanish. You suffer. You train. And you build the man they never saw coming. That's the law. That's how you rise. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. You don't explain what you're doing. You let the new version of you do the talking when it's ready. You want to be respected? Then disappear from weakness. Disappear from comfort. Disappear from noise. And reappear as a machine. You're not in the mood to talk? Good. Talk is cheap. What you need right now is pain, without witnesses. Progress, without praise. And discipline, without dopamine. This is your cave now. Cold, silent, relentless. The world will forget you exist. That's your advantage. They'll scroll past your absence, never knowing you were in the gym at 5 a.m., eating clean while they binged, studying while they partied, breaking your own limits while they laughed at your silence. Let them laugh. Let them forget. You're not seeking their attention. You're earning your own respect. This is the temple stage, where you rebuild brick by brick, where the nights are long and the voices get loud in your head. But you keep showing up anyway. There is no audience here, just you, your demons, and the discipline that drowns them. Most men collapse because they seek validation before they've earned results. They post about the grind before they've built the strength. They show their wounds and call it healing, but never actually heal. You're not most men. You rebuild like a ghost sharpening a sword. No one hears the grinding, but one day they'll feel the cut. Let them assume you're gone. Let them think you're still broken. Let them wonder why you disappeared. And when you return, let them see the scars, the silence, and the steel behind your eyes. That's the price of transformation. Isolation, repetition, obsession. You're not looking for love. You're not looking for revenge. You're looking for rebirth. Rebuilding isn't pretty. It's not aesthetic. It's not for the camera. It's ugly. It's lonely. It's days where you doubt everything, but show up anyway. You eat alone. You train alone. You fight your urges in silence. You want to be unstoppable, then become the man who can suffer in silence longer than anyone else. Because the man who rebuilds alone owns everything he becomes. No one gets credit for this. No one gets to claim your grind. It's all you, and that makes it real. Rebuild your mornings, rebuild your rituals, rebuild your mind, cut out distractions, unfollow noise, delete what breaks your focus, structure your days like a military operation. Sleep early, train early, read daily, work like it's war. There's no need to talk about it. The results will scream when the time is right. People don't respect effort. They respect outcomes, and outcomes are born in silence. You don't need to explain why she left. You don't need to explain your pain. You don't need to justify why you disappeared. Let them wonder. Let the silence speak. Let the comeback shock them. Real men don't rebuild for show. They rebuild because they have no choice. It's either rise or rot, and you've rotted enough. You've begged enough. You've waited long enough. Now you disappear, not to escape, but to evolve. Think of a blade, forged in fire, hammered in silence. It never makes a sound until it cuts. Be that. Every cold day you train, every night you resist temptation, every book you finish, every sacrifice you make, is another brick in the fortress of your future. Don't post it. Don't talk about it. Become it. When you rebuild in silence, you don't just change your body. You change your aura. Your energy becomes heavier. Your presence becomes sharper. They'll feel it before they see it. And by then, it's too late. You don't rebuild for her. You don't rebuild to prove them wrong. You rebuild for you. Because the world took everything. And now you take it back. But you do it quietly. Like a man, like a ghost, like a storm no one saw coming. Let your silence become your strategy. Let your absence become your weapon. Let your transformation be so shocking. It looks like revenge, but it's not revenge. It's rebirth. You're not here to announce your goals. You're here to execute. You're not here to post your pain. You're here to transform it. So stop telling people what you're doing and start doing it so intensely they'll never forget your silence. From this day forward, speak less, suffer more, execute harder, move like smoke, train like a machine, rise like a ghost forged in the dark. You don't need to be seen. You just need to become, rebuild in silence, and return unrecognizable. You held on too long, to her, to the memory, to the version of yourself that was scared to be alone. You clung to comfort like a man drowning clings to chains. You thought loyalty meant suffering. You thought love meant tolerating disrespect. You thought your value came from staying when everything inside you screamed to walk away. That was your weakness. That was your silence when you should have stood up. That was your fear disguised as patience. Now it ends. You walk away, without begging, without closure, without looking back. No more chasing, no more explaining, no more fighting for a seat at the table you outgrew. This is the law of men who rise. They burn bridges, not out of hate, but because some roads are meant to end in ashes. You don't rebuild your life by clinging to what broke you. You don't become strong by holding on to what made you weak. The Stoic man does not negotiate with what poisons him. He doesn't plead with chaos. He removes it. Letting go is not emotional detachment. It's warrior discipline. When something threatens your mission, you don't try to fix it. You cut it loose. A dead friendship, A woman who disrespects your time, a business that's bleeding you dry, a version of yourself that sleeps late, scrolls too long, trains too little, and talks too much. They all go. No ceremony, no announcement, just gone. Because when you truly decide to walk away, it's not to escape. It's to become. It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live. Marcus Aurelius. You feared being alone. But the truth is, you were already alone. You feared starting over, but you forgot that starting over is how real men are born. Every time you refuse to walk away, you disrespect your future self. Every time you settle, you betray the man you are supposed to be. So you let go of her, of them, of your old life, and you walk into the unknown like a wolf with nothing but scars and fire in his chest. No plan, no guarantees, just freedom. Because freedom doesn't come from having things. It comes from releasing them. When you stop holding on, your hands are finally free to build. Let go of her, if she made you feel like a second option. Let go of him, if he only called when it was convenient. Let go of the dream, if it turned into a nightmare of excuses. Let go of your identity, if it was built on weakness, comfort, and needing to be liked. You don't owe anyone your peace. You don't owe them your presence. You don't owe your old self another day of delay. Walk away, without apology, without delay, without fear. Because men who hesitate at the edge of transformation die in the waiting. She won't respect you because you stayed. She'll remember you because you vanished. He won't support your growth. He'll mock you for leaving until you return unrecognizable. The world doesn't reward those who hold on. It rewards those who release the dead weight and move with purpose. Your silence is power. Your exit is your evolution. Your absence will echo louder than your explanations ever could. You're not a beggar. You're not a victim. You're not a prisoner of a past that already buried itself. Let it go. And if it tries to come back, don't answer the door. You're not that man anymore. You're not desperate. You're not soft. You're not available for disrespect. You've been reborn through discipline, refined by fire, and your new self has no room for the ghosts of your weakness. Don't ask for closure. Don't send a final message. Don't wait for permission to evolve. Cut the cord and walk. The man you're becoming isn't found in explanations. He's found in movement, cold, final, focused, like a blade through silence, like a lion walking away from a fight it already won, like a god turning his back on dust. You don't look back, because there's nothing worth seeing. When a snake sheds its skin, it doesn't mourn, it moves, because the old layer was tight, dead, and clinging to it would kill the new life trying to break through. You've outgrown her. You've outgrown your excuses. You've outgrown the soft version of you who waited for permission. No more waiting, no more hoping, no more weakness. From this moment, every step you take is away from weakness and toward war. You'll rebuild without her. You'll succeed without their approval. You'll become dangerous without posting about it. This is the real flex. This is the real Stoic power. Walking away, with your head high, your mouth shut, and your soul on fire. Let others explain themselves. Let them beg for closure. Let them stay where it's safe. You walk alone. Not because you're broken, but because you refuse to stay where you don't belong. No more repeating cycles. No more talking in circles. No more justifying staying in places that drain your power. You are not here to fix what is dead. You are here to build what is alive. The past has nothing new to say to you, only silence remains, and it's time you learn to speak it fluently. When they ask what happened, say nothing. When they text again, delete it. When your mind wants to revisit, remind it. We do not go backwards. That man you were, gone. That story, finished. That attachment, burned. Like a ship with no anchor, you sail forward, into the storm if needed, but never again into comfort that kills. This is your test. Can you walk away without looking back? Not emotionally, not halfway, not in public for show. Completely, internally, irreversibly. If the answer is yes, then you've finally earned your next chapter, and you'll write it in blood, sweat, and silence. No more reaching, no more explaining, just movement, forward. Let your footsteps bury the past. Let your cold discipline suffocate your old attachments. Let your new life punish your old one by excellence alone. Don't send a goodbye, be the goodbye. Don't wait to be missed, be unreachable. Don't linger in the ashes. Be the flame that never returns. Because the strongest man is not the one who fights to stay. It's the one who leaves without noise, without hate, without fear, and never, ever looks back. Look in the mirror. Really look. What do you see? A man, or the memory of one? That version of you, the one who begged for love, who scrolled for hours, who made excuses, who broke promises to himself. He has to die. Not fade, not improve, die. You cannot become who you're meant to be while dragging the corpse of who you were. That version of you must be burned. No negotiation, no mourning, no ceremony, just fire. Total destruction. You want to evolve? Then erase the version of you that collapsed under pressure. The man who hit snooze instead of getting up. Burn him. The one who chased people who didn't care, saw. Burn him. The one who quit when it got hard, who blamed the world, who cried over losses but never did the work to win again. Burn him. Because here's the truth no one wants to say. You can't heal a version of yourself that's not supposed to survive. You have to kill him, like a traitor in your own kingdom. The enemy is not out there. It's the soft, cowardly voice inside you whispering, "Stay the same." Every time you skip the gym, he's speaking. Every time you reach out to someone who ghosted you, he's speaking. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," he wins. And he wins every day you let him live. You cannot be a warrior and a victim at the same time. You cannot hold on to comfort and expect growth. You cannot build a powerful life while dragging around the emotional weight of a man who was built to lose. You want to win? Burn him down. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. You stand in your own way, not your past, not her, not them, you. The weak version of you, the addicted one, the lazy one, the emotional one. He must be destroyed in full. This isn't about working on yourself. This is about setting the old self on fire and watching him scream, because the new you can only rise when the old you is ash. Think of a battlefield. On it lies a body, broken, bloody. That's your old self. That's the man who gave up. That's the man who let fear win. That's the man who let love make him soft. You don't bury him with tears. You bury him with silence, and never go back to visit the grave. No more nostalgia for the weak version. No more stories. No more "I used to." Erase him. Rewrite the code. Every new habit you build, that's a shovel full of dirt over his grave. Every cold shower, every early morning, every representative, every unread message you don't respond to, every single time you do what he wouldn't, you confirm his death. This is not self-help. This is self-execution. The man you used to be is standing in the way of the man you were born to become. Cut his throat and light the match. Because no phoenix rises without ashes. No temple is built without tearing down the ruins. No warrior steps forward until the coward is gone. You have to go dark. You have to go cold. You have to become ruthless with yourself. This world doesn't reward nice men. It rewards focused, disciplined, dangerous ones. And dangerous men are not born. They're forged through fire. You don't ask your old self for permission. You don't talk to him. You don't explain to people why you've changed. You just change. Coldly, decisively, without noise. Let them call you heartless. Let them say you've changed. Let them miss the old version of you. That version is dead, and you're the one who buried him. You were never meant to stay soft. You were never meant to seek comfort. You were never meant to remain a shell of your potential. You were meant to burn down and rebuild. And you rebuild by removing everything that keeps you tied to weakness. Delete the contacts, cut the addictions, break the habits, change the routines, change the clothes, change the voice in your head. If it reminds you of who you used to be, remove it. This is not a tweak, it's a total reset. You don't move forward with the old identity in your back pocket. You cut the cord completely. And then you bleed, you starve, you suffer, until the new you is built in fire. You train when you're tired. You work when you're broken. You show up when you want to disappear. Every time your old self whispers, "Let's take it easy," you answer with discipline. Every time he says, "We don't need to go hard today," you answer with pain, until his voice fades, until the shadow is gone. This isn't just about changing habits. It's about becoming a man your old self couldn't look in the eye. That's power. That's real transformation. When you wake up one day and don't recognize the man in the mirror, because you killed the coward who used to stare back. And the new man, he doesn't seek pity. He doesn't post quotes. He doesn't cry for closure. He moves like a ghost. He speaks with clarity. He lives by law. He doesn't need anyone's approval because he's earned his own. You want that? Then burn the mask, burn the persona, burn the story. Who you were is irrelevant. What matters is who you choose to be now, and every day after. You can't carry ashes and build a future at the same time. So light the fire, feel the heat, and let the world watch in silence, as the version of you they once knew disappears. Not because you faded, but because you evolved into something untouchable. This is your ritual. Burn, rebuild, repeat. Every time you feel yourself slipping, remember, the old you would quit. So you don't. The old you would reach out. So you don't. The old you would justify. So you don't. You act, you endure, you command. From now on, every breath you take is from a new identity, built in fire, hardened in pain, ruled by logic, moved by purpose. No softness, no noise, just motion. You are not recovering. You are not healing. You are not working on it. You are building the man who replaces your weakness completely. There is no halfway. There is only before and after. And before is already burning. Let it burn. Let it all burn. Because what rises from those ashes will fear nothing, need no one, and answer to nothing but his own code. Burn the old identity, then build the new one with unbreakable silence. You've been lied to. They told you discipline was about motivation, about feeling inspired, about waiting for the right mood, the right moment, the right sunrise to start becoming something great. That's weakness. That's fiction. Discipline is not a feeling. It's a decision. And the men who win in this world, they don't wait. They execute. Daily, without emotion, without permission, without applause. They do what must be done, whether they feel like it or not. You think the warrior wants to get up before dawn? He gets up because it's law, because the mission demands it, because the man he's becoming doesn't entertain softness, not for a second. Discipline is not loud, it's not aesthetic, it's cold, it's robotic. It's mechanical. It's doing the same brutal task at the same brutal hour for the same brutal reason until your mind is no longer allowed to negotiate. There is no debate, no inner dialogue, no maybe later. You build cold discipline by eliminating choice. Wake up early, train hard, eat clean, work in silence. Repeat. Not sometimes, not when it's easy, not when you're hyped. Every single day. You want to be free? Then become a slave to your own system. Only the disciplined are free. Everyone else is ruled by their cravings, their impulses, their weakness. They obey hunger, lust, comfort, laziness, distraction. They serve every master but themselves. But a disciplined man, he has one master, his code. He is a fortress, every habit a brick, every sacrifice a steel beam, every repetition a sharpened edge. And every day he shows up, he becomes harder to break. You want to be like that? Then stop chasing highs, stop chasing hype, stop chasing motivation. You're not a follower, you're a builder. And builders don't care if it's raining. Builders don't care if they're tired. Builders don't stop halfway through because they don't feel like it. They lay bricks in silence, one by one, until one day they stand inside a fortress no one can tear down. That's you. Every task you do with cold precision is a brick in the wall between you and your old life. The life of weakness, the life of chaos, the life of excuses, it ends here. With structure, with cold discipline. You don't ask, how do I feel? You ask, what must I do? Because that's the difference between men who talk and men who dominate. The talkers disappear after week 1. The disciplined ones, they keep swinging the hammer long after the crowd stops watching. And in that silence, in that repetition, in that boredom, they become weapons. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus, what would you be? A king? A commander? A ghost with iron focus? Then act like it. Don't wait. Don't speak. Doctor, discipline is not earned in public. It's built in the quiet moments. When no one sees you, when no one claps, when no one will know if you quit. And that's what makes it sacred. You show up when no one cares, because you care. That's where it starts, and that's where it stays. Cold, silent, precise, relentless. Do the reps, do the work, do the damn boring things that make you powerful. Read the book, lift the weight, study the skill. Sit in silence, refuse the distraction. Show up again, again, until discipline is your nature. Not something you try, something you are. You don't have discipline. You are discipline. You move like law. Let the others scroll. Let the others skip the gym. Let the others eat what weakens them. Let them sleep late, post fake progress, and chase easy dopamine. That's not your lane. That's not your path. You're not here for comfort. You're here for conquest. And conquest requires cold repetition. Not for a week, not for a month, for life. Understand this. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. If your system is soft, you'll stay soft. But if your system is ruthless, early mornings, precise eating, emotionless execution, total focus, then no matter how you feel, you win. Because emotion fades. Discipline doesn't. Motivation dies. Discipline remains. The hype ends. The code continues. Let that be your religion. Not quotes, not videos, not fake fire. Rituals, systems, standards, built daily, sharpened hourly. You want real change? Track your days. Audit your hours. Measure your discipline, not by what you did when it was easy, but by what you still did when you were exhausted. When she left, when you failed, when you were broken. That's the test. Will you still wake up early when no one texts you back? Will you still train when your body hurts? Will you still execute when your emotions scream for comfort? That's discipline. Cold, silent, warrior-like, not seeking praise, not posting about the grind. Just living it. You are not an emotional creature. You are a machine. The machines don't ask questions. They follow code. They follow commands. They follow discipline. If you want to change your life, don't change your feelings. Change your systems. Set your standards so high that your emotions become irrelevant. Set your environment so clean that failure feels like pollution. Set your habits so tight that the day feels wrong if you skip one. That's the way. That's how you kill the weak version of you. One cold, boring, disciplined day at a time. No fanfare, no applause, just results. And those results, they're earned in the shadows, in the early hours, in the repetitions no one talks about. You don't need excitement, you need consistency. You don't need emotions, you need execution. You don't need to be hyped, you need to be prepared. Every day you live like this, you build a mind that cannot be broken. You build a presence that cannot be shaken. You build a man that even chaos fears. And when life punches you in the mouth, you don't flinch, you don't fall, you continue. That's the Stoic way, that's the disciplined way. You don't collapse under pressure, you command under pressure. And when the world breaks, you remain unshaken, unbothered, unstoppable. Because discipline built you, and now you build everything else. Let others fall apart. You follow your system. Let others cry and complain. You move forward. Let others wait to feel ready. You do it anyway. Cold, focused, unseen. That's discipline. That's power. That's the life you live now. Every single day. No compromise, no emotion, no excuses. Just cold repetition and results that make the world wonder how the hell you did it. Let them wonder. You already know the answer. Discipline, built daily, carved in silence, forged in cold, and you don't stop, ever. This is the way now, until your last breath. You've been told to be loud, to promote yourself, to post every win, to share every move, to seek likes, hearts, comments, and attention. But the most powerful men in history, they moved in silence. They didn't show the world their process. They didn't speak of their next step. They simply appeared, already unstoppable. That's your edge now. You don't need to be seen. You need to become. Master the art of being unseen, the art of quiet power, silent movement, private evolution, because when they don't see you, they can't stop you, they can't predict you, they can't prepare for you, and when you arrive like a ghost they can't comprehend. The man who hides his process controls the game. The man who shows nothing becomes untouchable, and the man who lets his results whisper instead of his mouth scream, he becomes myth. That's who you become now, not a character in this noisy world, but a force moving beneath it. You train in silence, you build in solitude, you grow in darkness, and you strike without warning. You're not here to be liked, you're here to become lethal. The loudest man in the room, usually the weakest, usually the most insecure, usually the one begging to be noticed because he has nothing real to show. But the quiet one, the one who walks calmly, watches everything, says little, he's the one everyone fears and no one understands. Because that kind of power, it doesn't seek the spotlight, it grows in the shadows. You are now the shadow. You don't announce your goals. You don't post your plans. You don't prove your worth. You move like a storm held behind calm eyes. Let them underestimate you. Let them forget you. Let them wonder what happened to you. And then you return, stronger, smarter, sharper, and they'll feel it. They won't even know why. But your energy will be different, heavy, commanding, unshakable. This is the Stoic path. Quiet, disciplined, unseen. The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. Marcus Aurelius. Not a man who reacts, not a man who posts, not a man who flexes his wins like a child needing attention. A man who knows exactly who he is and has nothing to prove. Ask yourself, would you rather be noticed or respected? Would you rather be liked or feared? Would you rather be followed or unmatched? You don't build legacy through posts. You build it through power. Power born from the hours no one sees, the work no one applauds, the war no one knows you're fighting. You want to be untouchable. Then disappear from the feed and reappear only when you've become something undeniable. Don't talk about how you're working. Just work. Let others broadcast their every move. You stay silent, because your silence is sacred. Your silence is strategy. Your silence is strength. You are the man no one expects, the weapon no one saw being built, the storm no one sees until it's already too late. They ask, "Where have you been?" You don't answer. You just show them, through results, through energy, through presence. Because when you master the art of being unseen, your presence speaks louder than your words ever could. You are no longer in the game of attention. You're now in the business of transformation. Let the world scroll past you. Let them look away. Let them think you've disappeared. Good. Let them think that. Because your power is no longer public. It's internal, it's real, and it cannot be touched. Understand this. The most powerful animals in the wild don't make noise. The lion doesn't roar until he's already won. The snake doesn't hiss, it strikes. The eagle doesn't scream, it soars. Be like that. Be the one who walks into a room and says nothing, yet shifts the atmosphere with presence alone. Be the one who no one can figure out, because you've learned to master one of the rarest traits in this age. Mystery. You're not available for gossip. You're not on call for distractions. You're not emotionally exposed online. You're in control of your time, your moves, your message, your mission. Let others document their journey. You live yours. Let others seek external validation. You validate yourself through discipline. Let others scream. You train in silence. And when the world starts to notice something different, when they feel the weight of your new mind, your new body, your new standard, they'll realize what they missed. But by then, it's too late. You've already become the man they'll never catch. The man in the shadows, the ghost who walks through walls, the storm wrapped in calm. They mocked your silence. Now it terrifies them. They ignored your absence. Now they feel your presence. They questioned your quiet. Now it commands respect. That's the reward. Not likes, not applause. Power. Silent power. Not the kind that begs to be seen, but the kind that can't be ignored. You earn that not by chasing attention, but by eliminating it from your life. Less posting, more building. Less noise, more focus. Less speaking, more execution. This is how kings are made. Not in public, but in private. You are no longer trying to be someone. You are becoming someone no one understands. And that's exactly the point. Because once they understand you, they can predict you. And once they can predict you, they can control you. Mystery is protection. Silence is strength. Privacy is power. Every time you choose silence over status, you gain edge. Every time you say nothing when they expect you to speak, you gain ground. Every time you train without posting, you grow into someone no algorithm can quantify. That's what makes you dangerous. You move in quiet. You act in cold logic. You let your actions whisper through results. And when you finally move, you move like a sword in the dark. No warning, no noise, just impact. This is the art of being unseen, the discipline of the Stoic, the life of the ghost warrior. Be that and never explain. They won't understand your silence now. But one day, they'll understand why you had to disappear to become unstoppable. And by then, they'll realize they were watching a storm grow in the distance, and they never even saw the clouds coming. Be the unseen force. Be the ghost with fire in his eyes. Be the man who walks alone and leaves a path of silent victories behind him. Let them chase noise. You chase legacy. Let them seek popularity. You build power. And when they ask, how did he become this? The answer will always be the same. He mastered the art of being unseen. Now you know. You've seen the truth. No more excuses. No more guessing. No more noise. You know what broke you. You know what made you weak. and more importantly, you know what must be done to kill it. Because everything you were, everything that made you soft, distracted, weak, emotional, and unseen, must die here. Right now, in this moment, this is the execution of the old self, the end of the excuse maker, the final breath of the man who begged. Look back at who you were. See him clearly, scared, addicted, doubting himself, emotional, begging to be chosen, lost in comfort, wasting years. Now set him on fire. No more mourning, no more reflection. Let him burn. Because the man watching this right now, he's been called. And if you ignore that call, you stay buried. Buried under distraction, buried under noise, buried under the life you never wanted. You don't get to walk both paths. You either rebuild or you rot. You don't get to hold on to comfort and become unbreakable. You don't get to stay soft and become a weapon. You don't get to keep the past and create the future. You choose now. And if you don't choose, you've already lost. So what's it going to be? Do you fade again, or do you rise? Quiet, focused, unseen, rebuilt from steel and silence. You've learned the laws, you've walked through the fire. Now you must live by the code. Cut the noise, kill the emotion, rebuild in silence. Walk away without a word, burn the old self. Lock into cold discipline, master your presence, focus like a sniper. This is not a phase. This is your life now, a war against every version of you that tried to survive by being average. And from this war, only one man emerges. The one who stopped seeking validation and started seeking domination. He doesn't talk about his journey. He doesn't post progress. He just lives the code, every day, without emotion, without compromise. He is not loud. He is not seen. He is not reactive. He is inevitable. And this world, it doesn't prepare for men like that. It collapses in their presence. That is who you must become, not a better version of your old self. A new species altogether. Forget motivation, forget people, forget timelines. You move when it's time. You build when it's quiet. You strike when it's ready. And until then, you disappear, not out of fear, but out of purpose. You lock into your mission. You destroy distractions. You bleed through discipline. You forge the silence into steel. And when you rise again, you rise unrecognizable. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. There it is. No more planning, no more dreaming, no more hoping. Be one. Not for applause, not for attention, not even for revenge. You do it because that's who you are now. You are the man who rises before the sun. You are the man who walks through heartbreak without flinching. You are the man who stays cold when others beg for warmth. You are the man who trains without an audience, who builds without permission, who moves like a storm wrapped in shadow. You are the man no one sees coming. Let the others explain. Let them ask for forgiveness. Let them post their promises. You don't need to be understood. You don't need to be followed. You don't even need to be remembered. You just need to become undeniable. And that kind of man, he walks alone. He works in silence. He disappears from noise. And he rebuilds forever. This life is not a sprint. It's not a season. It's war. Against every temptation, every emotion, every weakness trying to pull you back into mediocrity. You want peace? Earn it through structure. You want strength? Earn it through discipline. You want purpose? Forge it in solitude. You want power? Earn it by letting go of everything soft, everything public, everything weak. This is how you win. Cold mind, sharp focus, daily execution, zero noise. Let them laugh. Let them mock your silence. Let them forget your name. You won't be forgotten for long. Because once the work is done, your presence alone will speak louder than their entire lives. But you'll say nothing. Because silence is still your weapon. That's how this ends. With silence. With steel. With a man who doesn't just talk about strength. he embodies it. No more delay, no more weakness, no more noise. From this moment forward, you walk alone. You rebuild forever, and you never look back. Now go. The world has no idea what's coming, but you do.